Have you been trying to figure out how to get your person with dementia to stop arguing with you, to accept more help from you, to stop accusing you of things that aren't true, or to be willing to take a shower or a bath? In today's video, I'm going to share with you one of the top reasons why what you are doing right now to get them to do the thing or to stop doing the thing isn't working. And I'm going to share with you some ways you can start to gain momentum and get success in getting the person with dementia to do what you're trying to get them to do. Okay, so what are you currently doing? When you're trying to get them to change or to do something or to stop doing something, what are you doing? You're probably trying a generic tip that maybe you heard from another caregiver or from a video online, and that is a great place to start. But one of the main reasons what you're doing isn't really getting you the results that you want is because you're stopping there. You're trying all of these generic tips, which are great, but they aren't tailored to your person with dementia. It's like telling somebody to bake a cake, and the recipe to bake a cake is to get these 5 ingredients and to put it in the oven. But the person has no idea, well, what temperature should the oven be? What order do I mix these ingredients? How do I mix the ingredients? How long do I leave it in the oven? It's similar when people are trying to use a generic tip or trick that they've heard from somebody or read online. Generic tips are a great starting point, but this video is going to encourage you to tailor those tips to your loved one so you can have more success. One of the things that brings about so much frustration for caregivers is that they're trying all the tips. They really are trying everything that people are telling them and everything that they're learning, and it isn't working, and they're getting more frustrated, and the person with dementia is staying the same or maybe getting worse, and the caregiver starts to believe that nothing is ever going to work for them, that their situation is just so challenging and so unique that there is no hope, that their loved one can't change. I'm here to tell you that there is hope. Use the generic tips you learn about as a jumping off point, and then ask yourself the question, how can I tailor this to my loved one? It's kind of equivalent to the cake example of what kind of cake would my loved one even want? I was talking to one of the most amazing Dementia Care Club members recently, and she was telling me a story about how in the middle of the night, her husband hopped out of bed and was just so convinced he needed to go help a client with some insurance policy paperwork. They owned a successful insurance company for most of their lives, and for some reason in the middle of the night, he popped up and said, "Oh my gosh, my client lost their policy paperwork. They need this immediately. I need to go help them." And he actually had the car keys in his hands in the middle of the night. That was her clue to start hiding the car keys in that moment. But in the moment, she's frantic and in distress of, how do I stop my person with dementia, her husband, from going out that door right now in the middle of the night to help an imaginary client that he thinks is real with policy work? Now, after doing the usual things many caregivers would do out of habit, like telling him it's the middle of the night, there is no client that needs paperwork, or we'll deal with it in the morning, and obviously that's not working, she does what I think a lot of people would try to do. What would you have done in this situation? She tried to calm him down and reassure him. She tried to comfort him. She tried to tell him that the person actually didn't need their paperwork. She tried to tell them that first thing tomorrow morning, they're going to go together and they're going to figure this out and they're going to go help him. Nothing was working. In fact, she was getting more frustrated and anxious, and her husband was getting more angry and frustrated, thinking, why in the world would my wife be stopping me from doing something that I've been doing my whole life, taking really great care of customers? If we look at it from the person with dementia's viewpoint, he's seeing it as, why is she trying to get in the way? There's a customer who needs my help, a client who needs my help. I'm going to go help them. So that's the generic approach. Just try to comfort and reassure in whatever way you know how. Now, she called her son, and her son did something amazing in this moment. Her son reassured his dad, but did so tailoring it to his dad. He told his dad, "Oh my gosh, Dad, I actually just got to the client. I just delivered the policy paperwork to him. He is so grateful and thankful for you." Instant relief. The customer was happy, which was what in the mind of the person with dementia, he really needed to go make sure that customer was going to be okay. And now the dad is feeling instant relief. Whatever he was concerned about, whatever he was in distress about, has been resolved. Here's the thing to know. There are a handful of really difficult dementia-related behaviors. You've already probably been experiencing them. Not really wanting to shower, wanting to drive when it's not safe, not wanting to accept help, believing things that aren't true, repeating themselves over and over. There are a handful of common challenging dementia-related behaviors. And there are a handful of really great approaches and tips to use in response to those behaviors. But there are a million different ways to tailor those tips and approaches to the person with dementia. You want to take these generic tips and tailor them to your personal situation, taking what you know about your person with dementia. This is not a cookie cutter situation. What is going to get one person with dementia to agree to take a shower is not going to be the same thing that's going to get another person to agree to take a shower. What's going to stop one person from repeating themselves over and over again is not going to be the same exact thing that stops another person from repeating themselves over and over again. The general approach might look the same, but specifically what is said and how it's done and where it's done, that is going to be the change. That is the specific recipe, the specific tailoring that you have to do. Do not be discouraged when generic tips are not working. Instead, ask yourself, how can I take this tip and tailor it to my loved one? What could I change or shift about my approach that it would make more sense to my loved one with dementia? Those are actually really important questions. Most people just want the generic tip and want to be able to just say it, like, give me exactly what to say. How do I get my loved one to take a shower or take a bath? And without working with you one-on-one and without being able to get the information from you specifically about what your loved one has responded well to in the past, what's worked in the past, getting more details about their personal history, without knowing that information, the most of what anybody can do on general information on the internet is to give you the generic approach. The best work you can ever do is ask yourself those questions. How do I tailor it to my person with dementia? And because most people don't ask themselves that question and they don't do that deeper thought work, most people continue to face the same battles and challenges over and over again. Answering these questions and doing that thought work is going to increase the chances that you can give a better quality of life to your person with dementia, and absolutely for you to face less stressful situations. When you're thinking about how to tailor the approach, here are some things to consider. Number one, consider your general approach. Does your loved one respond better to a more sarcastic approach, a more serious or stern approach, or perhaps a more loving, kind, compassionate approach? People respond differently to different situations. Like my dad, it's a sarcastic approach 100% of the time, or else nothing's going to work. You also want to consider the timing of the approach. So for instance, if you're trying to get somebody with dementia to take a shower, but your loved one is already in the living room in their favorite recliner and their favorite show is about to start in an hour, asking them or trying to get them to take a shower then, you're probably going uphill. You're probably doing an uphill battle versus trying to find a time when maybe they're just waking up and they're just walking by the bathroom naturally, and that would be an easier place to redirect them to. So you want to be thinking about taking the generic approach and thinking, okay, when is the best timing for me to try this? You also want to be thinking, what are the detailed specifics I can sprinkle in and add into my approach? Like, for example, if we go back to the gentleman who owned the insurance company, sprinkling in information about how do I sprinkle in the customer care? How do I sprinkle in information about owning the insurance business that the person with dementia would receive? You are going to have much more success. So what is it in your loved one's background, things that were important to them or that resonated with them? How can you take specific information about that and sprinkle it in to the approach you're trying to use in the moment? Okay, I hope this video helped you, Careblazer. Hang in there. You may not find the approach that works for your loved one immediately, but here's what I do know. Your current situation is not your final destination if you do not want it to be. There is always hope. There is always a way. There are a million different ways that you can succeed and figure things out in caregiving, but there is only one way you can fail, and that's truly just by giving up. You've got this, even though it's hard. Let me know in the comments, what new ideas do you have in terms of how to take a general tip or approach you've heard about and how to tailor that tip to your loved one? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you're new here, hello, my name is Dr. Natali Edmonds. I am a board certified geropsychologist, and it's my mission to help fill in the gaps that healthcare providers simply do not have the time or training to do in a quick 20 to 30 minute appointment. That's why I post regular videos right here on this YouTube channel. You can click that red subscribe button for free. It'll help make sure you don't miss out on future videos that I do. And most importantly, what it does when you click the red subscribe button, which is 100% free, it tells YouTube that these videos are helpful to dementia caregivers. And then YouTube is more likely to put my videos in front of a caregiver out there in the world right now, searching for help online and simply has no idea that these videos exist. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.